She was just an ordinary woman walking home from work, her mind lost in the mundane thoughts of the day. But what she didn't know, as she made her way down the quiet street, was that her life was about to change forever. Out of nowhere, she collapsed. Heart failure, they would later say. And just like that, she was unconscious on the cold pavement, with no one around to help. Except for one person. A homeless teenager who had spent the last few months scraping by, surviving one day at a time. His name was Alex. He'd never known stability, never had the luxury of a warm bed or a hot meal. But that didn't matter when he saw her fall. He rushed to her side without a second thought. No hesitation. Alex had been on the streets long enough to know how to read signs of distress, and instinctively he started CPR, pushing past the fear that was trying to freeze him. He didn't know if she was going to make it, but he wasn't about to let someone die if he could help. As he worked tirelessly, his mind flashed back to his own struggles. To the nights spent under bridges. To the kindness of strangers who had saved him when he was on the brink of giving up. Maybe this was his chance to return the favor. Maybe this was his moment. Minutes passed, but it felt like hours. Alex could feel his heart racing. He knew what was at stake. He wasn't just fighting for her life, he was fighting for his own redemption. Then a miracle happened. The woman's eyes fluttered open. She gasped for air, taking in the life-saving breath she desperately needed. Alex collapsed beside her, exhausted but relieved. It was only then that he realized something. He had just saved a stranger's life, despite having nothing himself. The paramedics arrived moments later. They were in awe of his composure and quick thinking, but they had no idea what Alex had been through to get to that moment. They never would. Days later, the woman, whose name was Lisa, returned to the same spot, where she met Alex again. She didn't know his story, but she would. And when she did, it would change everything. What Alex had done wasn't just about saving a life. It was about proving that even in the darkest moments, a single act of kindness can light the way for someone else. And that's a lesson none of us can afford to forget. Sometimes the heroes aren't the ones we expect. Sometimes they're the ones who have nothing left to give, and yet they still give everything.